Sounds good to me.
Chopping it with Mittens, joking about his name is so fly. Mittens, cause he whipping, don't you get it, but that stove's hot, hot. Now let this be a lesson, professor. He handling and hitting his possession. Ooh, what you cooking, Scalding hot beats was blow up before it's cooking. Ooh, I know you're looking true. I'm out taking with this beat, I'm a lady man. I'm really trying to date it out. What's the number trying to call out? What about my team? Wood, shout it, don't get logged out. Made by Bethesda, the only way we fall out. Morocco, you a mole. Find another hole to crawl out. Hey, I'm sick of squirrel with the biggest girl. Slay sister, case get up. I think you're stripping, girl. Damn, how sound that cliche, right? Well, I'm flame on.
Alright, this is where I come in. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon, good morning, good evening. This is DSP News 2nd Edition. I am your host. Welcome to Snortopia, and welcome to the Gout Report. Ladies and gentlemen, this will be the first step in an undertaking that that may not have any initial value off bat, but I hope, maybe, we'll see, I don't know. It might be worthwhile later on down the line to somebody else, maybe. You know what I'm saying? Someone who can present it better, someone who was able to gather more information, because there's going to be a lot that I'm going to miss. But someone who just has a better outlook on it. So that's kind of the point of all this, essentially. Ladies and gentlemen, we are going to tackle Darksydephil's legacy as it pertains to the FGC. We will try to, for the better part of the year, we're going to try to get as much of it as possible. I want to go over matches. I want to go over grudge matches he had with people. I want to go over his boasting. I want to rip all that apart. And we'll find out what's real and what isn't. Because for those like himself, to be honest with you, who are under pignosis or self-induced pignosis like Phil is, he only will remember what he wants to remember. Given what happened only a week or two ago, when someone baited him into an excellent question about, hey, what are your thoughts about people, downplaying or outright disregarding your FGC accomplishment or your Evo 2005 tournament win? What are your thoughts on that? How do you feel about people dismissing it and saying that it's not worth a damn? And watching him react the way he did is absolutely amazing. And I did a video on that. And then Mr. Huffstuff and Snortbucks actually both came through on the clutch. But Mr. Huffstuff came in with an amazing piece of work that came from that's when Phil used to whore himself out, where he would do like a personal video for people, like a Q&A. Like, I can't remember if you had to pay like $50 for that, or maybe it was $20. $20 or $50 through Patreon, and you could get a personalized video from him. I feel like it's $50. But apparently one of those and then there was a big leak on those a couple of years back. But I think it's a Bill Purnell video, actually. Bill Purnell ended up had a video sent to him. He put it up, and Mr. Huffstuff ended up going through that and grabbed the segment that kind of coincides with pretty much just everything I did and everything I said in my own video. But I also have a follow-up to that. You can see that on the main channel. But that's the point. If you go over Phil's timeline by year, he lied, or he added to, or he took away from his FGC legacy, from people being scrubs, who was prodigies, who really fucked him over, who didn't, how good he was, how dominant he really was, how everybody was jealous of him, how people turned against him because of his skills and they were jealous that he made it as far as he did, and so on and so forth. There is so much to cover that this is going to take the better part of a year, for sure. And I'm down for it because it's my idea, so I don't have a choice really. So this is what the situation is going to look like. Now, granted, there'll be other DSP lore that we'll do throughout the year, obviously, because we got to spread this shit out. It's a mess. And there's so much bullshit. There's just so much bullshit to go through. But so we'll mix it up a little bit, but certainly that's what's going to be the focus here on the Fight Club channel. We're going to go through his legacy. We're going to go through his lore as it pertains to his FGC days, and we're going to find out what's what. Hope it's going to be interesting. Hopefully you guys will be somewhat entertained by it, and more importantly than all of that, hopefully you guys have, for any of you guys who may have some insight and whatnot, you'll choose to share it and whatnot, because that's the only thing that's one of the things that'll make all this better as we move forward, right? Is having a better understanding of what our situation is. So it isn't just bashing Phil for the sake, even though that's really fun, and obviously I enjoy doing that. But also, it's just getting down to the truth. It's about finding out what's what, and it's going to get kind of murky too. It's going to get kind of ugly. Like, for example, that T. Carter situation. We're going to actually delve into that. Phil has told us that, oh, it was just a 15-minute segment. It was a tribute. I didn't go ahead and profit off of my dead friend. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I found that video. I found that, what was it, Hate Live from, I think it's like April of 2014. Because he talks about his move in there too, and some gaming news. That T. Carter segment's over 40 minutes. Not the 10 or 15 minutes like he said. It's almost half of the podcast. So you did profit off of your dead friend. We're going to go through that though. We're going to find out if you're really genuine and if you're really not. And I didn't watch all of it yet because I didn't see a reason to ruin myself. But looking at the comment section, people were like, oh, Phil, don't worry. It's okay to cry. He really meant something to you. But if what I had to guess is true, and I'm sure it is, especially from what we've seen in current years, you really didn't cry, Phil. You were in a situation where emotionally you were supposed to react in a certain type of way, and you tried to emulate that. But I bet you there wasn't any tears there. And at the end of the day, you should have just admitted that, yes, I profited off of my friend. I did a 45-minute segment on T, and I monetized that video. So I did profit off of my dead friend. Because he was part of that video. His legacy was part of that video. Your friendship was part of that video. But whatever. We'll tackle ugly situations like that when we get around to it. There's more information I'd like to find on Scott too. We'll see what we can find out about that. He's definitely an OG and whatnot, and he definitely has an extensive amount of information. Interestingly enough, there isn't a lot of information that ties him to Phil. So I wonder if him and Phil were as close as Phil makes it out to be. But we'll see. Ladies and gentlemen, we are here. We're here for the situation in general. Now that you guys have an overview of what the series is going to be moving forward. We are here with the main event. Calling out DSP Gaming. FGC Challenge time. FGC Challenge. Time to live up to your claims. This is from February 20th of 2014. The link to main event's video will be down in my description, as all of the videos that I use. So you guys can go back, look at it for yourself, read the comment section. You're going to find some old school detractors in there, but you're also going to find some really good information. Also check his description box over the next few videos as well, because that right there he'll have links to some of the older videos that he had used in some of his videos. Sadly, some of those accounts don't exist anymore, or the videos in question cannot be found. If anybody happens to be able to come across any of those videos, please let me know. Please let me know. But at least the ones that are unavailable, I should say. Everything that he does have that is available, I already have that. Thank you to big ups and thank you to people here at the team, as well as other people, outside individuals who asked to remain anonymous, who sent me a bunch of stuff. Thank you very much to all of you. In any case, ladies and gentlemen, that's what our situation is. So, now that we've got that all out of the way, let's welcome to Chewing the Fat with GTG, also known as Welcome to My TED Talk. Alright, so main event has actually quite the reputation in the fact that he was someone who's very critical of the FGC. He was very critical of the nonsense that was going on in the FGC and how the FGC needed to change. Now, not just its behavior, right? But if they wanted to be profitable, if they didn't want publishers or sponsors to come in and essentially rape the community and take advantage of them and have them fighting for scraps, he was one of those people that was like, we need to change and we need to do it for the better. A lot of this infighting, we need to stop that bullshit. A lot of that immature stuff, we need to stop that bullshit. Yes, it's about playing fighting games and it's all about competition and so on and so forth. But at the same time, though, there's a lot of money that can be brought into this on top of the money that's already coming in. There's grown man bars is something that you're going to have to deal with. And so if we don't rise to the occasion, they're going to play us any which way they want. These sponsors are going to come in, and these sponsored teams are going to just go ahead and give us chicken scratch, and we're all just going to fight each other over that for their entertainment. If we don't sit here and smarten up, there's a lot of things that he said back in his day that came to pass now. It's very, very interesting. I hope to bring more of that to you later. And yet again, the link to this video will be down in the description. Go through his channel, check some of that stuff out and whatnot. You'd be surprised how many things that he said end up coming to pass. You really, really will be surprised. In any case, that's what our situation is with here. And him calling out Darksydephil comes from an interesting encounter that he had where he saw a video of Phil's where he felt that the YouTube was prioritizing content creators over other content creators, and he agreed with it. He was like, yeah, that's a bit unfair, and it's keeping smaller people down. Problem is, when DSP was on top making all his money and bringing all this crazy, and it was all milk and honey in the gravy train. Remember, this is 2014. Phil never really complained about any of that because he was already making crazy money. It's only when Phil's popularity fell, it's only when his views fell, then all of a sudden there's issues. And not to say that that still takes away from Main Event co-signing to what he had to say, or at least agreeing with it, I should say. But you have to look at Phil's circumstance, to understand why he would make those claims. Now, is it wrong to say, was Phil lying? Not necessarily. He wasn't. The thing is as the pool got bigger, right, and his views got smaller, it wasn't that he was being deprioritized. He just wasn't a priority. There were other people coming in with much bigger views, with much larger fan bases, who were watching not only more often, but watching longer. And Phil's little 10-minute situation, spamming, 30 to 50 videos a day, screwing people's inboxes or subscription boxes all up, is part of his own demise. Now, granted, Main Event didn't know that at that time. You know what I'm saying? He was going off of face value. You can't condemn a man for that. You can't condemn anybody, really. But when you look deeper, that's when you get into our situation. In any case, let him tell his own story and whatnot. I will go ahead and jump in as I feel that's appropriate. And thank you for coming to my TED Talk. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Gout Report, and this is DSP News 2nd Edition. See you guys in a minute. Brought to you by Snortbucks Coffee Co, the best beverage company. I'll see you guys in a second.
Find another hole to crawl out. Hey, I'm sick of squirrel with the biggest girls. Laces the case get up. I'm thinking stripping girl. Damn, how sounding cliche, right? Well, I flame out brain. I'm the PK type. Come and rest in my nest. I'm a bed that night. Metaphor girl, you gon' get that pipe. Whoa, wrong song. I'm thinking about bum bum. Chicka, wow, the calling of my sloan. The snapping of her thong. The rapping of this song. So tell you this boy's gifted, giving you my own. So, hey, now what's better than that? Hey. Now what's better than that? Hey.
Every day when it comes to the community, it's like Groundhog Day for me. I see the same things over and over, and it's this vicious cycle of ignorance, racism, sexism, immaturity, but you want to be treated like adults, right? Right? That's what you want to be treated like. This is amazing that we see these type of things going every day here. And it's always because somebody doesn't like the same game that you like, or someone beats someone else in the game. And it's this absolute dumbest thing I've ever seen in my life. And like I said, back in the day when we had these things, when we had to stand next to each other and play games, we never had any of this. Never. All right? And I'm sure you see the title already what this is about. That's how this all started. Let me talk about this, all right? This all started because...
Before our boy gets in here and starts cutting this up, ladies and gentlemen, we are here with Main Event. Let's see, calling out DSP Gaming, FGC Challenge, time to live up to your claims. This is from February 20th of 2014. The link, without my annoying voice, will be down in the description. Grown man bars are something you're going to have to deal with. So let's see what he has to say. Let's get it.
You fans. Okay, because I remember not too long ago, I liked the video of DSP's where he was talking about how YouTube is pushing higher YouTubers, in the recommendation section over smaller YouTubers when it comes to competition-wise and money. He was talking about that. He was absolutely right about that. He was. So I liked the video. When I did that, a number of you contacted me and was like, why are you liking this guy's video? You're above him. You shouldn't be agreeing with him. And I said, well, he's right about, monetization and things of that nature and pushing bigger YouTubers in the limelight. And you people were like, but he's still a piece of shit. And I said, I really don't know the guy. I don't watch his videos. I came across that video and that was it. I didn't see his videos before that. And then you people started showing me videos. You started sending me videos of them. And saying this is what...
Yet again, that's fair. Like, if he agreed with the point that Darksydephil made, then so be it. Guilt by association to some degree is a thing. So there's that. On top of that, though, too, and this is 2014, keep this in mind. This is a business. And YouTube is going to push the content creators who are making them the most money, obviously. You know what I'm saying? And that's what the situation is. Now, Phil can bitch and complain about, yet again, as I said, being deprioritized all he wants. But yet again, he's one of the major reasons why he was being fucked over. And on top of that, he's part of an MCN. He's part of Machinima at this time. Yet again, there are a bunch of things that he could have done at his time with Machinima to put himself in a better position to expand his horizons, if you will, to make contacts with not only, other content creators, but game publishers and so on and so forth. People, I think, underestimate in 2021 and even in 2020, we underestimate exactly how much reach Machinima and a lot of these MCNs, to be honest with you, had back in the day, especially Machinima, which was essentially the top of the heap, the cream of the crop. You know what I mean? That's something that I think we take for granted. And I think because of that, I wouldn't necessarily call it ignorance is bliss, but it's because of that situation, that disposition, if you will. We don't appreciate the opportunities Darksydephil could have had, and he was just too lazy, too stupid, or he thought he was above it to take advantage of those things. Remember, he was the Joe average gamer. He was the one in the million. He was the exception to the rules, and yet he did nothing at all to truly prosper from it, because he was supposed to be just one of us, right? Just the average guy putting videos online, living the dream, turning a hobby into his dream job, and yet didn't get really anywhere with it. He obtained a lot of junk. He ruined some people's lives, including his own. But what does he really have to show for it? A legacy of failure? A begacy in a lot of ways, to be honest with you? What did he really gain? He lost friendships. He lost relationships with his family. He lost, some type of camaraderie with the very audience he allegedly was fighting for and trying to fighting for and had camaraderie with. Just something to think about.
Why we don't like DSP gaming. And the more I watched this guy's videos, the more I understood why you hate him, and I began to hate him as well. And I'm getting tired of this guy's trolling, immaturity. I'm calling you out today. Let's get started on this, because you know what? It seems like people don't understand what this is all about and how this affects the community. So let's start with his bullshit.
Hello everyone, I'm Darksydephil, or DSP for short, and welcome to DSP Gaming. Now, if you're actually seeing this video, it means that you're not currently a subscriber of the channel, and what I'd like to do is explain a little bit about myself, what I'm all about, and what the channel is. I myself am a former pro fighting game player. Now
hold up. Since you say you're a pro fighting game player, okay? That means you've been sponsored in tournaments to play and win, right? Because there's a difference between being...
Good point. Phil ended up rectifying that a little bit later, but that whole pro fighting game player thing was a moniker that he really had no right saying. You know what I'm saying? If he wanted to say he was a tournament competitor, so be it. But to say you're a pro fighting game player is deceptive, because you weren't doing this for a living. And he wasn't winning enough to make any money up to making up the money that he lost, that he tried to sink into this. He couldn't recoup the money, I should say, or the capital for what he ended up putting into this. And over Phil's 5-6 years, if you will, he sunk tens of thousands of dollars into the FGC. And traveling, hotel stays, food, entering into tournaments, trying to, air quotes, run tournaments and buying peripherals and stuff for that. He sunk thousands upon thousands of dollars into this. It's actually kind of amazing. And yet again, that comes from Phil thinking that, the more that he can, it's clout chasing, it's flexing. Oh, look at how much money I threw into this. Look what I purchased, so on and so forth. And people back then picked up on it. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, it is always going to be quality over quantity. And Phil tried to overcompensate in both ways and screwed himself royally. And which is even more interesting, because that Best Buy job that he had, there was no way at all that that was compensating for the money that he was spending in the FGC, which means Mommy and Daddy Brunel must have came in on the clutch, and they must have been helping him out. And if Mommy and Daddy had some type of savings account for him, or some type, not really slush fund, but obviously if they had some type of trust, if you will, for him that he was able to access in his 20s, he was running through that. He was running through that at an alarming rate. Just something to think about.
Pro who's sponsored and just a regular tournament player. There's a difference, all right? I'm just saying that now. But since you say that you are a pro player, you would know the basics on how to block and how to attack and timing and things of that nature, right? So, you know what? Let's just see how good you are since you're a pro at these games.
Oh yeah, let's go ahead. It didn't even make sense. Why did it hit me?
Why did it hit you? Oh, it's this simple. Because you were blocking high when your opponent was attacking you low. You know what that means? That means it broke your guard completely and he hit you with the Hadouken at the end. Now, you can probably try and scream chip damage all you want, but in this case, it doesn't apply because he was working the combo against you and you got caught. You defended improperly. So sit here and complaining about how it hits you when you don't know the basics. It obviously seems you don't know the basics of this stuff. You should just suck it up and realize you're not that good.
You hear me button? You hear me pressing it? What? What the? I don't want that! Oh my god! Why would I do empty jump ultra? Oh my god!
Wow. Why? Graph the fuck out of him. But ladies and gentlemen, I had a poll, or I made a suggestion for a poll. Someone made it. Thank you to whoever here ended up doing that. Whether if we had an FGC, a Detractor FGC tournament, what games would you guys like to see, and if anybody would actually like to see it? And obviously, one of the MIDI people here decided to put a troll response at the very bottom, and that ended up winning out. But if I had to say honestly, it's definitely going to be 30th anniversary, mainly for Third Strike, or I'd like to see Ultra Street Fighter 4. To be honest with you, I think those are two games that I think everybody would actually have a very good time doing. If by some stroke of luck, Phil's dumbass really wanted to jump into it, we can put Super Turbo in there as well. I don't care. But I would say my top two games for sure would be Third Strike or Ultra Street Fighter 4. And that's only because Ultra Street Fighter 4 has all the character variations from all the previous Street Fighter 4 series. All in one game, and you can find it at a pretty affordable price. So that's my situation. I'm gonna ask someone to make a poll over here on this channel, and we'll take you guys' temperature. We'll see what's what, and that might be something that I don't know. I'd like to try to do it maybe for the summer, maybe, or if not towards like the end of the year. We'll see, because you know what I'm saying. I have to see who wants to actually do it or not. But it's open to anybody. To be honest with you, it's just it's whatever. But that's a thing. So make subtle reminders for me because of that, and we'll see what's going on with that. Oh, speaking of which, Jay and Super Crazy, I saw your thing about doing like a wrestling podcast. We'll work something out, man. I'm definitely down if you guys are down. We have to work something out with time and so on and so forth. But yeah, that would definitely be cool. I definitely like to talk about some old wrestling and some of the new product now. I hate calling it a product, but it is what it is. But yeah, like I said, we'll talk about that further and whatnot as time goes on and whatnot, and we'll see if we can try to get something going. But I'm definitely down.
Would I do that? Oh my god! I totally didn't want that. I wanted a fireball. Good move! Wow. Fuck.
Is it the end?
Oh my god, that's it, it's over. Stupid fucking Shoryuken goes completely the wrong direction. He's on the other side, he does a Shoryuken backwards. Yes, good job, Ryu. Dropped it. Fuck. Good backdash. Wow, I wasn't even up.
How long will this go on?
Oh, I'm pressing the button, you can hear it. Oh my god! The fucking kick never came out. Of course. Of course! When in doubt, throw
that FDC cancel you saw from Ryu when he did the uppercut and then he canceled out of it. That should have been in the Ultra. I'm not saying that's what the guy was going for or what he wasn't, but that should have been in the into Ultra. That should have been free. That should have been free. Here, actually, let me see if I can go back and I can show you what I'm talking about. Excuse me, I went back a little too far. Here, we'll play from here, though. I'll see if I can point it out to you.
Fuck. Good backdash. Wow, I wasn't even up. Yeah.
There's a throw.
Oh, I'm pressing the button. You can hear it.
Because you can't throw break.
Oh my god. The fucking kick never came out. Of course.
That
of
right
course.
There, sorry. That right there should have been his focus cancel into Ultra, and it didn't come out, or he didn't put the motion in, or whatever the case may be. Matter of fact, never mind. He didn't actually. Now that I'm looking at his Ultra bar here, he didn't have the Ultra full yet, so that explains it. But that's what I think he was going for. If not, there wasn't too much he could do outside of, I mean, maybe a fireball. Maybe he could have uppercutted him again. He might have been able to hit him with a medium uppercut just to benefit off of the juggle. But those are just guesses on my part.
When in doubt, throw fireballs. Oh, I can't block. I couldn't block. Are you kidding me? A random fucking sweep I couldn't block and he wins with chip damage. Fucking stupid. What? What? I couldn't block. What? I'm in the middle of a combo. What the fuck?
How is it that you landing one hit means it's a combo? If you had landed you know, 3 hits, that would be considered a combo. You hit the guy once with a jump in, and he calls that, I was in the middle of a combo. What a nut.
Oh! What? I'm holding back blocking! Oh my god, are you kidding me? What a scrub! He does overhead.
Ladies and gentlemen, it was the Street Fighter 4 series that built DSP Gaming. I want to make sure I put that out there right now. And it also helped with DSP Street Fighter. But it, you know, Street Fighter 4 essentially built DSP Gaming. Keep that in mind.
I go to punish, but because it's online, I get a little bit of delay. He scrubs out a fucking backward Shoryuken. Oh, it's terrible. Oh my god, the lag made me jump at the wrong time. I fucking missed.
Turn it all around.
Okay, sure, I wasn't pressing any buttons. That's not what I did. Oh my god, I'm dead. I'm dead. Oh my god.
Did that. I love the fact that that Ryu player did that, because in Street Fighter 4 there wasn't a lot of people who did that, where you could literally throw out on an opponent who's jumping in on you. You could throw out a light uppercut which puts them into a juggle state, and then immediately you could go for a super or an ultra for free. For free. No focus cancel or anything. You know what I'm saying? All you had to do is catch them on the jump in, and people always fall for it. It's fucking hilarious. I really need to put that on the poll and see if people would be willing to play it. I think we'd have a really good time with it. Like I said, that Third Strike and Super Turbo if people really want it.
I can't believe they hit me. Well, I didn't do that. Oh, I'm pressing jab. Oh my god, random headbutt into Ultra. I'm pressing a button, what the fuck? What the fuck? He gets random throws for no reason. I'll be in the middle of an attack, he just throws right through it. It's fucking bullshit. No flash kick. Okay. What? No flash kick, come on! Oh my god, yo, I can't hit him with jumping short. Oh my god, whatever. Like I was super basic Balrog and he beat me with nonsense. Apparently Balrog's throw is godlike now.
You know, I'm seeing a lot of piss poor defense walking into opponents' moves, mistiming your own moves, and then insulting those and blaming lag. Look, we all know that Street Fighter Online, it has lag, but the things that you were getting caught with was of your own doing, not because of lag.
How long will this go on?
Oh my god!
The fight is underway.
Oh my god! I teleported right into it. Well, that sucks dick.
I'm almost ready to
Wow. What? He got to block that? Wow. I can mash DP. What the fuck? Yo, this shit's so slow. His Dragon Punch is like...
I can mash DP, but yet he shits on other players for doing that. There's compilations of him shitting on people for doing that. In that last match against Ryu, he was bitching about that. Oh, that's so amazing.
Super fucking slow. I can't do the Raging Demon. I can't do it. It won't come out. Yes, whatever. Block! I couldn't even block. Wow.
Interesting thing that that's Rufus up there. I can't remember if Darksydephil had a SRK account of his mini where he was going by something Rufus, or people said people were saying that he looked kind of like Rufus if he had dyed his hair. I can't remember which one it was, but people used to refer to Darksydephil as Rufus for a while on the boards. That shit was hilarious. That shit was fucking hilarious. Like I said, I don't know if that was one of his mini screen names or people were calling him that because they thought he looked like Rufus in some way. But the association between Darksydephil and Rufus was a thing for a while.
An awful Ken player beats me.
Fight!
What? I couldn't block it.
I smell it coming.
Whatever, dude. He's just a fucking spammer. Dude, I can't get my move to come out. What the fuck? Oh, he's terrible, and he's gonna beat me. Yeah, he's gonna beat me. I can't do anything. It's too laggy. He won. Complete nonsense. Guy's an awful fucking player, and he beats me because his connection is shit.
I've never seen anything like this.
I couldn't even get my special move to come out. Awful player. Awful, shitty player with bad connection wins.
And let me say this too, for a while, for a good amount of time actually, Rufus was the man. Like he was basically controlling the tournament scene for a fucking ungodly amount of time. Let's see, Rufus was basically on top of the heap. You know what I'm saying? Almost most of the top players played him. Like Justin did, Ricky Ortiz did. PR Balrog only played with Balrog, but his Balrog was solid. Like that shit was super solid, super duper solid. Abel had a really good run on the tournament scene for a little while. Obviously Sagat ended up had a really good run for a while. I mean, there was. Yeah, and then you get into the situation with when Gamer B hit the scene with Adon, and Justin was game testing at the time. Phil made us think about that too. We'll eventually go over that, but he said that Adon wasn't very good, and then Gamer B ends up going on a tear. It comes to Evo and ends up beasting him and almost took the whole thing. It was like a crazy time to be watching Street Fighter, and like I said, you can find all of this on YouTube. Like you can find all these Evo tournaments and everything on there. SureYouCan.com actually has their own official YouTube account, so you can also find a lot of those matches and stuff on there. I'm sure stuff has been purged or been re-uploaded on other stuff, but you can find it if you really want to look for it.
I cannot move. He just keeps teleporting and he's hitting me non-stop. I can't do a combo. The lag is insane. I did X-ray that.
It goes to show, ladies and gentlemen, that just because you're playing a top tier character It doesn't mean you can win. It doesn't mean you can win. And Phil has been a tier whore. And you've seen a lot of that actually in his weekly Street Fighter streams, where he gets mad that he has what would be considered the superior character in the matchup table, and yet he still loses. And yet again, like I said, playing a good character doesn't guarantee you a win at all. You know what I'm saying? At all. You can outplay a person very, very easily.
The triggers, right? That was all X-ray attack and it never came out. The lag is absolutely insane. Two laggy assholes are mashing fucking buttons. That's all we're doing. I didn't do roundhouse kick. I can't hit him with anything, dude. His connection is so fucking awful. Well, I couldn't move. I was gonna triple slam me. Couldn't move. Nothing I could do. So laggy, dude. So laggy. God damn, this is slow. This is so laggy.
So apparently every game you play, you're going to blame lag. You've got to be kidding me. Look, I put it like this. Not every game is going to have a problem with lag. And if you watch these videos in full, people, the links will be in the info bar for you. That's right. It's because he sucks. That's why. Alright? And instead of him keeping his mouth shut, which he should just keep his mouth shut, no. He keeps his ongoing commentary going, which then stirs up an even worse issue.
I'm gonna pick Black Cyrax and mindfuck him. He's gonna be like, what is this shit? Who is this man? Black human Cyrax?
So why couldn't he have just been human Cyrax? Why do you have to be black human Cyrax? You know what? I didn't see you play that shit and try to do that when you were fighting against Jax. So what would be the big surprise if Cyrax takes off his helmet and he's black? Huh? What you're doing is you're using racial undertones to try and troll, you fucking asshole. You understand that you just tried to segregate a character by color. Do you understand the racial barrier that we have here in the gaming community? No matter how many of us do these videos that are of color, we still every day have to deal with that racism. You understand that, right? You know how many messages I get a day? You're nothing but a fucking nigger. And you're going to sit here and tell me that you're going to use this as a fucking joke? It's not a fucking joke. But yet, you think that's okay to use just for fun and games. But the thing is, it gets even worse with you.
Throw that bitch,
the irony
yeah.
is of that, and it's ironic on a bunch of different levels, to be honest, is it was only last year or 2019 he said that he blamed his use of racist jokes on the FGC because everybody did it, and that's where he learned it. Phil really said this. He blamed it on the FGC. He wasn't even man enough to accept that, even though he said that, even though before that, we all heard, oh, they were all racist jokes. I was just trying to be funny, and this, that, and the third, and it was all generalized humor, and yada, yada, yada. And it's your fucking fault that people fucking hate me. And then years later, oh, it's the FGC's fault that I'd said those things. It was the FGC's fault that I thought that way. They're the ones that are they were the problem, not me. I don't have a racist bone in my body. It was the FGC that gave me that. A scumbag. I know that's in a Snortbucks video or in a Mighty D video or a Mr. Huffstuff video. I know for sure it's in one of those three. Jesus Christ.
Fuck you up. Show that titty. Show me titty, goddammit. Show me titty.
For all the problems that many of us for years have tried to solve in this community, you're going to go out and act not only like a racist, but now a sexist asshole. Are you fucking serious? And yet, you want to be considered respectable. Get the fuck out of here with this. You understand there are women in this community, in this fighting game community, that would tear you the fuck apart in these games. I don't even understand how you keep a chick on your side. She must, you know what? She must settle for less. Because as far as I'm concerned, anyone that I know, woman-wise, that play games, that have been arguing, they would never stand next to you acting like that. It's ridiculous. You should be ashamed of yourself. But it's all for entertainment, right? Get the fuck out of here with that old bullshit. And I'll put it like this. Any of you fans who disagree with what I'm saying right now, you have to admit, at the very least, is suspect.
For all the people who out there who always say that, oh, he's horrible at games, I think this is kind of a shot to the, or punch in the face for those idiots, because, you know, the bottom line is, again, I can be good at games if I want to. If I actually want to take a minute to try to be serious with it, I can do it. Because I wasn't trying hard to do good at the game. That's not what I do. I'm not a top-level pro player at every game that I play. I'm trying to have fun. That's the key.
Then prove
I love
it.
how Panda was able to see through that bullshit. And yet again, our boy here was right in the fact that Panda was willing to sell it for less. I don't think she understood exactly what it was until it was too late, but womp womp. But even Panda Lee called about all that bullshit. I mean, it's fair to say as a gamer, Panda might have been better. You know what I'm saying? And in a lot of ways, Catherine might actually be the better gamer. You know what I'm saying? But then again, there's variables in that. You know what I'm saying? They're not sitting there trying to juggle a bunch of games at once. They're not forcing themselves day in, day out to play games that they clearly hate, right? For an audience that's clearly losing interest by the day. I mean, semantics.
Time you knuckle up and go
1-on-1 with the great one.
in King of Fighters 13, because in every other fighting game, you have an excuse on why you lose. Clearly, surely, you won't have a problem with lag with King of Fighters 13, right? You won't cry like a
King
little
of Fighters
bitch.
13 is a beautiful game, too. That shit's fucking a beautiful game. It's hard to find a physical copy for that, though. That's an extremely hard game to find a physical copy for. But I think, honestly, that was like the best. That was like the last great, probably KOF game. Because, I mean, from a visual standpoint, and then the mechanics and everything that went behind it. Because then they started to go into like this 3D route, and it's been, the graphics have been kind of sus over the last couple years. And I think King of Fighters 15 or 16, one of the two, is actually about to come out. I just saw Maximilian's video on that. And, he says the visuals are a little bit better, but, you know, they introduced a new character. He's waiting to see some actual gameplay to see how that all pans out. We'll have to wait and see. But I think King of Fighters 13 was probably the last good KOF, I think. But, you know, it is what it is. But Phil's definitely not going to do good at that. Phil's definitely not going to do good at that, so I don't even know why we even brought that up.
When you defend him properly, right? Matter of fact, you sit here and talk about how you're not a pro gamer in all these other games. You know what? Neither are the people that you're playing online. But you know what? You admit that yourself. Because every time one of them beats you, you disrespect the shit out of them and you say they're beneath you.
Oh my god, are you kidding me? What a scrub! He does overhead at whiffs, I go to punish, but because it's online, I get a little bit of delay. He scrubs out a fucking backward Shoryuken. Ah, it's terrible. Wow. An awful Ken player beats me. What on earth? Are you kidding me? That was complete fucking luck, dude. That was complete and utter luck that worked. Wow. This is the luckiest dude on the planet right now. Alright, this is a rematch against the guy who beat my ass for Adon. A counter pick! Dude, this guy's cheating. There's no way.
The counter pick. There's no cheating in counter picking, by the way. And actually, more often than not, if you watch the Street Fighter restreams, Phil almost almost goes match by match counter picking people, almost. So there is no cheating when you're counter picking somebody. At the end of the day, it's part of the FGC strategy. It is what it is. Some people say they think it's scummy. Some people don't give a shit. At the end of the day, the matchup is the matchup. And you don't have to stay to this rigid, okay, this beats this, and this beats this, and you have to go by this kind of flowcharty type thing. You don't have to do that at the end of the day. Knowing that information is useful and being able to utilize it in a practical way is even better. But you don't have to live and die by that. Once you start doing that, you start hindering your own growth. You know what I'm saying? You start to become too rigid. And once you become rigid, you start to become predictable.
On Earth, he would have known. He counterpicked, dude. All he has to do is sit still and do nothing, and he fucking wins. So pathetic. Hey, look, you're MLG, right? You're MLG. You're so good because you pick a counter match. You're so fucking good.
And why are you going to say you're MLG when you run around saying you're a former pro fighting game player? The hypocrisy is amazing.
Fucking asshole watching the stream and getting free wins by counter picking. What a fucking cheater. Stupid cocksucker. That is called waste of life. That's the definition of a person who shouldn't exist. There could be a useful person on the planet in the place of that human. This guy did nothing impressive at all. He did 0 combos. All he did.
That whole wasteful comment, like that wasteful human thing, that shit never sat right with me. It never did. And for all of his excuses that, oh, I did it for entertainment purposes, or I had this immature fan base who liked seeing the rage and liked when I insulted people and doing all that dumb shit. No. At the end of the day, you're a scumbag, right? Who used to say that shit behind people's back in the FGC, right? And you got called out for it. You should have had your ass beat at least a few times about it. And it didn't happen. You were fortunate because other people came to your fucking defense, or they figured you to be so pathetic that you weren't worth dealing with, right? Which is one of the biggest takeaways from the FGC is he's just someone who was so pathetic that he wasn't worth dealing with. He wasn't worth dealing with. Don't get me wrong, violence isn't the answer. You know what I'm saying? But when you have someone who runs around talking about he'll smack the shit out, the taste out of your mouth, or he'll beat your ass and all this, and then you finally meet him at a live event and he don't want no heat, he don't want no smoke, there's a problem. And then you just start to become more and more pathetic of an individual, right? And then a lot of the boasting that people used to think was kind of funny or kind of entertaining, it's not entertaining anymore. It's almost like he fell into the WWF role, if you will, and he took it way too far and he took it way too seriously. And then when people were looking to call his bluff, I guess we were supposed to cut to commercial or some shit. I don't know. But yet again, it gives you an idea or an understanding at the very least of how he viewed the FGC, how he viewed YouTube, and how he views Twitch. He's like a retarded chameleon, if you will, trying to adapt to whatever situation that he's in, and he does it in the worst possible way. In turn, making that community look less than what it actually is. And that right there is a unique talent that is only credited to Darksydephil. I mean, don't get me wrong, there's plenty of scumbags in plenty of different communities, but Phil stands out. And he stands out in the most egregious way possible. And it's amazing on how someone who, from a social standpoint, can convince other people to give their hard-earned money to him for little to nothing in return, can't conduct himself, not even amongst the higher echelon or the upper echelon of any of these communities, but just as an average person. He can't do that. So you can con these people out of their money. These kids, these man babies, these wheelchair symbols, these people with mental and physical disabilities, right? That they can't help, right? You can con them out of their social security checks, their disability checks, and everything else. Their mommy's credit card money, hi Derek, and all that shit. But yet you can't conduct yourself in you can't just be a decent person around your peers. And you have the nerve to sit there and say, oh, I don't bash my other streamers or other YouTubers. I'm just being honest. But when those people laugh at you, you're the first one to cry and complain. They're picking on me. They're bullying me. Think about that. Like, really think about that. And Phil is older than most of these people, too. Which is even more crazy.
It was teleport, and I couldn't do anything about it.
Fatality.
Congratulations, you suck.
Give your respect.
Here, you get a fucking 0. Suck my balls. You get a 0.
Bish, 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 bish.
Completely unearned win. Nope, sorry, I'm not playing your laggy ass again. Get the fuck out of here, scrub. Yep, you fucking scrub. Horrible scrubs. Horrible scrubs. He teleports into the bush, and that's all he does, and he beats me. Yes, you're so good. Fucking scrub. I'm glad everyone knows that it's fucking bullshit. Everyone knows it's utter fucking shit, and I'm quitting this fucking room. I ain't playing this shit no more. So laggy.
Pay your respect.
You get 0. 0. 0.0. Sorry, teleport push gets no points from me, fucking cocksucker. 0 points. Oh god, why'd you get another X-ray move? Fuck. Yo, there's nothing I can do, look. There's nothing I can do, she just keeps hitting me. She reverted her gameplay to, oh that's right, I'm playing online. All I need to do is fucking duck and uppercut. I couldn't do anything about it. She got free uppercuts the entire game. Fuck that. Scrub.
Johnny.
I'll just keep doing the same Rita combo, and you can't move. I'm so good.
And now I think about it, this actually proves that Phil is, as plenty of people have said before me, and plenty will say afterwards, he's nothing more than just a AAA game whore. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're playing games that you're clearly bad at, but you know they'll bring in views, so you keep playing them. But you're not good at them. You're not looking to try to get better at them, and you're not entertaining. You're solely relying on the game to carry you to your Goutopian riches, or Snortopian riches in this case. And that's it. And that's all he's ever been. So how's this dude going to run around and be like, everybody's saying I'm a terrible gamer, but I'm not a terrible gamer, when clearly you are? You're not doing anything to get better. You make all these excuses about, oh, I could be a better gamer if I wanted to, but I choose not to. You know what I'm saying? It's not that serious. It's not this. It's not that. Well, people are coming to you to be entertained, sure, but you're not entertaining, right? You get mad that people criticize you for your lack of enthusiasm or lack of skill, even though you've gone out of your way to say, I do this on purpose. Then why are you letting people's opinions or comments bother you if you're doing this on purpose? What sense does that make? And he's gotten mad at that. He has banned people. He has shadow banned people. And he's had people ran out of his own community, as well as sent harassment to other content creators over these exact same things. Isn't that crazy? And then he has the nerve to say, well, that hurts my business. When people with larger communities make these claims about me. But you're the reason why they make those claims. You're the one who initiated it. Remember, you could be a better gamer if you wanted to. You're not taking this seriously. So then when someone like Evil AJ makes it, this is how you don't play, that shows your failure. The failure that allegedly you're doing on purpose to be entertaining, and that you're not here to take games seriously. Why are you trying to silence him? Why are you trying to have videos taken down? Why did you have channels taken down over this stuff? It sounds like someone who just isn't able to do anything right and tried to use that as a shield. Like, oh, I do this all on purpose. It's all for entertainment purposes. And then people went past that and laid down some comments that should have been brushed off anyway into the snorty ether, but he wasn't man enough to do it because it hit him where it hurt, because he really can't do anything right. And the fact that he's been able to make it this far, he was able to limp on broken hooves this long, is amazing, and yet equally as pathetic. And equally as pathetic.
Wash, rinse, repeat. No gameplay. I jump around and do the push, and I do the rain combo. I'm so good. Fuck you. Yo, twice he punched through my uppercut. Whatever, man. Laggy bullshit. Look at this nonsense. Look at this ridiculous Cyrax combo. 58% damage and he wasn't done. Whatever. This is why this game is dumb. He just did a regular 58% combo to me. What the fuck is wrong with this game? Why would you have a 58% combo in a one-on-one fighting game? Here's your respects. Fucking 0, you scrub. 0!
So because someone can actually exhibit skill and actually has know-how in a game, right? He should be punished for that. Why can anybody do a 50% or a 58%, combo in a game that's one-on-one? Isn't this the same guy who complained not too long ago about how he landed one hit on a person and that was considered a combo, and he was mad because the guy was able to break out of his combo? But now we're going to bitch and complain about percentages. We're going to bitch and complain about percentages. Oh my God. Oh my God. Amazing. Amazing.
This game is so broken. This is why the game is not good for tournament play. 58% regular combo because my guy is laggy online and gets hit by a random fucking hit. Whatever. So dumb.
So I guess your definition of fun is only when you win. I find it funny that you will call other people a waste of life for playing online when you're playing online yourself. Not to mention...
Now, here's the thing, as it pertains to the concept of people liking to win and so on and so forth, which isn't a wrong statement to make. The thing is, right, is that when you're winning, if you can't learn from that win, then what good is it? And if all you do is make excuses for your losses, then what's the point? Winning isn't always a good thing if there isn't any growth attached to it. If you're trying so hard, if you have to win at anything or everything to keep your own ego up or to justify your existence or keep morale up, then you have a much larger problem. You really do. Don't get me wrong. Everybody wants to be acknowledged. Everybody wants to win. Everybody wants to be looked at as a winner and so on and so forth. But then those are the same people who usually peak in like high school or college and shit. Like, you got to take L's. It's the only way you're going to get better. It's the only thing that makes your victories or your wins have more substance. You have to go through the struggle. So when you finally make it to the top, it means more. You know what I'm saying? And that's what people like Phil, for example, don't get. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not as superficial as people try to make it out to be. And if you look at it from a superficial standpoint, then you're missing the bigger picture. You know what I'm saying? And there's not much to you then if that's the case. There has to be more to it. You know what I mean? Some of the greatest FGC players or some of the greatest teams in esports or whatever the case may be, pick the game of your choice, took losses before they finally, ended up gaining the wins. And the wins meant more. Because you can learn from your losses, you can utilize that experience, and you can press forward. You've never been able to see Phil do that. You've never been able to see Phil do that, especially from someone who takes L's all day. And the reason why is his only defense against taking an L or a loss or a shortcoming or whatever is to make an excuse for it. Well, that's no way to live. That's no way to live at all. Do you really want to go through life having people pity you? Apparently Phil does. He certainly did.
This is how you make your money on YouTube full time. At one point, you had 7 channels going on. So DSP Gaming, Mr. Full Time, how about this? I'll raise the stakes even a little higher. Loser goes off of social media completely. No more videos, no more Twitter, no more Facebook, nothing. How about that? I'll give you time to prepare. See, that's the difference. I'm willing to put my channel up and everything else up to get rid of scum like you in this gaming community.
But that's Phil was never going to go for that. One, this was all easy money to him, even though the money was declining. It was easy money. Two, Phil had plenty of opportunities to get back into his sector, and he chose not to. He chose not to. You know what I mean? In a lot of ways, and this is a theory that I've held onto for a number of years, I think, honestly, he was waiting for YouTube to finally let him monetize YouTube videos. And then when he got fired, I'm not saying that he planned to get fired, right? Because if nothing else, he was more of an embarrassment to his own father than he was to himself. But I'm not saying that he was planning on getting fired. But I think it worked out. That's the perfect excuse to come into YouTube full time with that. Hey guys, I've been doing this for a long time. I put out a lot of content for you guys, and I just got fired from my job. And I really need you guys to come through and support and interact with the videos and so on and so forth, which is what he did for King of Hate Vlogs, or no, King of Hate HD and whatnot. And you saw how that backfired on his ass. Ends up going to Blip. You saw how he got in his own way. And then when he came back to YouTube, he was able to go ahead and get back into the monetization and put his garbage gameplay online. And he's been able to make a living ever since. Phil was always looking for the easy way out. Always. And getting another job somewhere else where he didn't have an advantage, i.e. my daddy's been working here for 30 years or whatever. And so, not to say that's, what do you call that? Nepotism, even though one could look at it that way. Not to say that it was or it wasn't nepotism, I don't know. But it certainly helped in some ways, obviously. If he didn't have an advantage like that, him going somewhere else and starting from the ground up, certainly not making the amount of money he was making, at the old company, he wasn't man enough to do that. He wasn't man enough to do that at all. You know what I'm saying? Look at the whole thing with the YouTube channels and stuff, like with King of Hate Vlogs, DSP, Street Fighter, KO Gaming. He only did those things because his back was against the wall and he had no choice. He didn't branch out to do it because he wanted to. He did it because he had no choice, and he had to. Darksydephil, the original Darksydephil channel, had already taken hits, had already taken lumps. He should have diversified a long-ass time ago. Before he finally did. Before he finally got kicked off of YouTube for X amount of time, until he was able to send the attack dogs out, or pigs of war, if you will, to finally talk to whatever company it was. I think it was Ubisoft, to finally give him, and YouTube, to finally give him his account back. He should have diversified before then. The DSP family of channels didn't come until after he came off suspension, because he doesn't know how to be preemptive with things. He's someone who reacts. He's not someone who thinks ahead. It's just what he is. He's a blunt instrument. He's a fucking tool. He always has been. He always will be. And now, in our current day and age, in 2021, he's literally at the mercy of the audience in a way that he's been fighting against for years. For years, he's tried to maintain control, as much control as possible, while trying to get the most out of them. When he fucked himself out of that vest streak, that was it. It's been a downhill spiral for money ever since. And even with the few cucks that come in there and give him money to try to save him, it doesn't mean not a goddamn thing. Because you guys can't do it forever. Not in the current climate that we're in. You know what I mean? This isn't 2017, 2018, where you idiots don't mind showering him with money. You guys can't afford to do that now. You know what I'm saying? If you're not investing in yourself, especially not in this day and age, you're going to have fucking problems. And whether them disability checks starting to lighten up and whatnot, or you guys are starting to get worse with your own physical health, and you guys need, and you know, more money needs to go to get you guys the medication that you need, and all the issues that and trials and tribulations that come with stuff like that. Phil's not the priority anymore, because the situation doesn't allow him to be the priority anymore. And that's the whole situation with Darksydephil in the FGC and on YouTube. He was a fluke. He was just a victim of circumstance. He was sorry. I mean, victim of circumstance is true, but he's really a consequence of circumstance. He was just lucky enough to be there and to capitalize, and not even be able to capitalize fully. You know what I mean? To capitalize enough to where his ego and his finances were satisfied. Not even looking at the bigger picture and thinking about what he could obtain. He was okay with what he did obtain, which wasn't much. But he made it seem like it was so big, though. He made it seem like it was so glorious and whatnot, and it was worth fighting for. And in actuality, he was fighting for chicken scraps. He was fighting for pennies. Pennies. Even, I'm talking about someone who was making $250,000 a year at one point. And even then, he could have made double or triple that. But he didn't, because he was content with what he had. He was lazy, he was stupid, and he was ignorant to how business really works. But yet he tells you guys, you know what I'm saying, he has a business degree. He knows how the world works. Well, and over the years, he ain't sat there and filed for bankruptcy. He's going through foreclosure, and he's watched everything that he had on YouTube, whatever his little Gouty empire was, crumble right in front of his face, right in front of your faces. How much did he really know? You guys don't talk about that anymore. He talks about outliving people now. He only talks about surviving. He only talks about existing. What was it all worth?
Do you have the heart to do the same thing? That's what I'm wondering. Because I put it like this. I'm hearing that, you know, you're partnered with Machinima. Machinima, do you want someone like this representing your label? You gotta be kidding me. And your fans that you have, people who try to advocate this because it's entertainment, you need to take a good long look in the mirror and realize that if you think that this is okay, this type of behavior that hinders the community is okay, you are part of the problem. It is disgusting that we have to deal with this. And now you know why people hate you, DSP. It's not a secret. I'm just getting around to it because I had other things I had to do. But you are the first of many I'm going after. I hope people see this. Like I said, and you fans, don't come in here trying to berate me, because I find it funny that you can come over and trash me and berate me and get in groups and do these type of things. But you can't get together in groups for causes. You can't get the groups, get together in groups to fix issues. It tells me a lot about you. I'm done here. You know what? I'll leave you with this. Because apparently I'm going to be the bad guy in this. I'll just leave you with this part.
Do you want to play the fucking game? Just kill me. Here, I'm just gonna walk forward. You can just keep shooting my body. Come on, keep hitting me, asshole. Come on, you fucking idiot. Come on. Keep hitting me. Here, earn your win. Oh, you're so good. I'm gonna let you fucking win so that you can waste your fucking life playing other people. Because I actually like playing fighting games, you fucking idiot. Get your perfect, because this is how you want to win. So go ahead.
You're just a bitch.
Go ahead. No, you're the bitch because you don't play a fucking fighting game, you stupid cocksucker. Your mother probably shat you out, you fucking piece of shit. Learn how to fucking play a game and be an honorable fucking player. Learn how to fucking play a game and be an honorable fucking player.
Learn how to fucking play a game and be an honorable fucking player.
So now you can live in as you live in your mom's basement, you can celebrate
how angry he is. Like, do you guys hear that? That right there is the real DSP. What you're hearing right now is the real DSP. And his purest, saltiest, rage-filled, bacon grease literally coming off of his hooves, self. That's him in his purest form. A resentful little fuck, right? Who's mad that he's embarrassed himself. I guess this was on a live stream or some shit. Or whatever, and he can't take that back. And since he can't, and he was so useless, he was so helpless that he couldn't defend himself in this game, right? He couldn't figure out a way around the tactics or anything, even though supposedly he can adapt to any situation, semantics, that he had no choice but to berate the guy. And even with the little bit of response that we heard from the guy, it hurt Phil this much that he's still this mad about it. Think about that.
Eating your whole fucking bag of Doritos and chugging down your fucking Fanta because you gotta win with Deathstroke. You're so good because you rocked back and shot bullets.
Learn how to fucking play a game and be an honorable fucking player.
Oh. Oh my god, that's beautiful. Thank you. Really, thank you. Alright, ladies and gentlemen. Give me a second to square up. We'll reconvene for final thoughts, and I'll see you guys for part 2. I'll see you guys for part 2.
Hey yo, I just want to say shout out to my red bike. It got stolen about a year ago, and I think about you every day. But now I got a blue bike, and it's not the same, but it's a new life, a new journey. So rest in pedals, red bike, I love you. I like to bask in the tropics with a flask in my pocket. If you acting no brolic, I'll start laughing and mocking like a charismatic parrot that is a comic. Now I'm feeling like the shit cause I'm rapping with finest. Loose off of Jen Ricky's, perusing Sin City, riding my Schwinn smooth like the swing of Ken Griffey. And the felt of the velvet, I said hell with a helmet. I can tell that you're jealous of the smell of the shellfish. Don't tell me I need a haircut. You can't walk a mile in my shoes cause I'm barefoot. Boss taking the toke, God's making the joke. With a Mickey Mantle rookie card, close pinned in my spoke.
Oh boy, that's beautiful. His salt is so good. It's so good. Oh my god, that shit's amazing. Oh. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, so that's what our situation was. This, ladies and gentlemen, as I said, will be a 3-parter, because the situation with main event and Darksydephil falls over 3 parts. So look forward to the next 2 videos covering essentially that, and then we'll start getting into some other FGC stuff. Now, if you guys saw the last video, it actually inadvertently it bled into the whole main event situation. You got basically a preview, if you will, of what's going to come next, just to give you guys a bit of an idea. So if some of this sounds familiar, there's a reason why. Phil has been, let me not overstate this or make it a cliche, even though I may do that anyway. Phil has been a problem, and people noticed it early on. You go through the comment section of some of these videos that people made on him, and you see it very, very clearly. You're talking about people who got up and out of the pignosis early as fuck, before it turned into what it turned into, before that whole cult mentality and all that shit. which is even more entertaining because there's DSP Cult Leader. We're going to go over some of those videos too. And I think the reason why Phil is so triggered by the LSB video, which goes over some of Phil's cult behavior, I think that's part of a series too. I don't think that's LSB's only video. I think there's going to be like, there's still some more coming. So look out for that. Is the fact that his hatred for DSP Cult Leader. If you go to that YouTube channel and you look at some of those videos, there are hella dislikes. And that's back when Phil had clout, when Phil had muscle. You know what I'm saying? Where he could really go off and try to really, dislike bomb a video into oblivion. And it never deterred that, and whoever it was that DSP Cult Leader was, it never deterred them. They kept it up. They kept it going. And I think that right there in itself is something that we should respect. Because a lot of the shit that people call Phil out on was called out long before maybe even some of the previous detractors even knew about it. And I think that's something that we need to remember, and I hope that is something that I can reinstill into some of you moving forward, or at least illuminating that for you, if you will. So keep an eye out for that. Part 2 of this is going to be good, because how Phil and his audience responded to this is insane. It's kind of silly how they responded to a lot of this shit. So keep in mind on that. It's a thing in process. And like I said, after this 3-parter, we're going to start getting into some other FGC stuff. Anybody have any recommendations for a video or whatnot, by all means let me know. And whatnot, leave in the comment section or whatever the case may be. And we'll figure out how that goes. We'll talk a little bit more as the months go on about this Detractor FGC tournament that I want to hold. Because, I mean, I have, like I said, right now it's just an idea. So it might not even happen this year. It might not happen until maybe next year, if it even happens then. But it's an idea that I at least have, and I'd like to see it come to fruition to some degree. And like I said, it's all for fun, it's whatever. But it might be a cool thing to have, you know what I'm saying, and whatnot. To see, to have a really small community, kind of that has some camaraderie outside of just DSP bullshit, kind of come together and support themselves. You know what I'm saying? So that might be cool. I think it'd be fun, but we'll see. Either which way, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for listening in. I very much appreciate it, and I'll catch you guys for the next one, which will be soon. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Snortopia. This is the Gout Report, and this is Hard Snort's Gin and Tonic, a toxic flavor that never waver. Take care of yourselves, guys. I'll see you when I see you.
Mother Nature's where I'm planting my seed. Do a dance in the breeze on the branch of a tree. I reside in my mind, it's the land of the free. I got the world in my palm, you should hand it to me. I can't copy or steal cause I got art etiquette. Sometimes I think that everyone's my arch nemesis. I've come to the conclusion my bike is my best friend. My worst enemies tend to be dead ends. In the sun chasing rum with the juice of a plum. In the singing mood, the drinking booze like a bomb. Someone stole my red bike, so I bought a blue one. I was sad, but fuck it, I got a new one. Chasing rum with the juice of a plum. In the singing mood, the drinking booze like a bomb. Someone stole my red bike, so I bought a blue one. I was sad, but fuck it, I got a new one.
I got a new thing, yeah. I hope that it's alright with you. With you, with you. I told my girl I got a new thing, yeah. I hope that it's alright with you. With you, with you.